It's that time of the week. We start the week off with a bang. Beyond the Headlines is live. This evening, we're having a fatherhood forum. Guess what? We have two fathers, two sons. But let me just make it clear, they're not related in one way or another. I'm pleased to present tonight's panelist, Martin Scott. And we're going to put a handle a little later, but let's just leave it as Martin Scott. He's a dad. Mr. Cleveland Sam, he's a dad. We have two sons in the house. We have Mr. Kyle C. Sylvester smiling there in the red shirt, and Mr. Willon Antoine. Willon. So those are the two sons. And there's somebody over on the left. Yes, Willon, thanks for the wave. We have somebody else on the other side. His name happens to be Marcus Williams. Marcus is our co-facilitator for this evening, grinning as ever, out of Kingston, Jamaica. So, Martin Scott, as we said, we'll put a handle, but we want to leave the handle off for the time being, just to say that he's a dad. He wears two sets of daddy hats, spiritual and paternal. Willon is no stranger to the GBN. We're so proud of him. He's somebody who started with us in 2015-16 with the radioactive program, and now we've seen him grown from a boy into a man. He's now a teacher. Cleveland Sam has been with us talking about education in these COVIDious times. Now he's talking daddyhood. And Kyle, it's great to have you with us there. Marcus, is all over to you.
All right. Thank you so much, Odette, for having me this evening. And thank you, fathers and sons, for having joined us this evening. I couldn't help but look on social media yesterday. It was Father's Day, and see all of the tributes. But I also noticed that there was a qualifier. Happy Father's Day to all of the good fathers. And happy Father's Day to my mother who fathered me. And I noted that on Mother's Day, we don't see Happy Mother's Day to all of the good mothers, and Happy Mother's Day to the father who mothered me. So I want to know how you guys feel about, speaking to the fathers, feel about that kind of narrative that is out there on the Father's Day, that you have to share it. How do you feel about that? We start with Mr. Martin Scott.
Well, again, good night to everyone. The beautiful Odette.
Blush.
We are happy to be able to share this moment with you and with the rest of the panel. I'm excited that I'm a dad. I'm proud to be a father, and personally, I think that we fail to give much honor to fathers. I think we need to step it up a little bit, because with everything there's a foundation, and fathers, men are the foundation. Without men, there could never be children. You know, without men, without fathers, we could never have a balanced home, so to speak. And so I wish that we can find some ways and means to really elevate fathers, not only on Father's Day, but all through the year.
Thank you for that intervention. How do you feel about that, Mr. Sam?
Hi, good evening. Thank you very much for having me, guys, and good evening to everyone via GBN on social media. Well, I think traditionally, Mother's Day was always a huge day compared to Father's Day, and still is. Sometimes it pains you as a father to see not Mother's Day and still the attention that Mother's Day receives, but the lack of attention that Father's Day receives. And in terms of the narrative you speak of, I think there is a misconception, and I'm going to be controversial from the go, that mothers could father children, and as I said, it's a misconception. Mothers play a really critical role as mothers, but I don't think they can be fathers in as much the same way as I don't think fathers can try to play the role of mothers, because we can't. We are not wired that way. So I think is an unfortunate narrative and misconception that has perpetuated over time. And I think we as fathers and as men generally perhaps need to stand our ground some more, perhaps need to demand some more that, the credit that is due to us be given unto us.
Okay. All right. You said something that I want to come back to a little later, but just before that, I want to hear from the young men among us. Why do you think it is so that on Father's Day, we have young people or persons around giving shout outs to their mother? What do you think accounts for that kind of behavior from where you sit as a young person? Right. Oh, let's take Kyle first and then we'll hear you, Willon.
Okay. I would say probably the reason why we're having so many cases of persons saying mothers or fathering their children, because there is a rising case of families in Grenada where single mothers, where mothers have to do the job of both the father and the mother in the household. So society is gradually changing, and the whole structure of the family is not as how it was no more, where sometimes you have a single parent doing both jobs of that parent. So I think it's really good that persons in Grenada and around the world are recognizing their mothers who have been doing the job of the fathers. Mm-hmm.
Thank you. How about you, Willon? What say you?
No, based on my own personal observation, what I've realized is that, as the young man who spoke before me mentioned that, society has, evolved in a way, it has changed. In that you have, higher rate of sexual activities happening among young people, and we have children coming about, right? We have young men who may not fully understand what it means to be a father as yet, and as a result of that, we are having homes where the young lady or the young woman would have to take up the role of both parents in these cases, right? So, with the whole concept of Father's Day, yes.
Okay.
But Marcus, can I interject?
Certainly.
Because
Certainly.
I heard that very important point made by Kyle about single parenting. And we have an excellent example with Mr. Cleveland Sam, who is sitting there looking all composed. And to prove it to us, I'm letting his business out of the hat. He is a single dad, let's call him that. And one of the things that I have admired following Cleveland, he's a media colleague, let me just put that out there, and following him online with his two boys, I've always been in awe, because he does this thing that he calls Traffic Chronicles. I relabeled it COVID Chronicles because he started it before, and then during COVID period, we did get some special episodes. Let me ask the producer to share with us a sneak bit of one of the Traffic Chronicles, and we'll come back to Cleveland and ask him about single parenting.
Welcome to another terrific Thursday. I'm Mikkel.
I'm Cleveland.
I'm Son.
And I'm Dad.
So as you can see, Mateo's not in the car today. That's because he has online school today.
Yes.
So yesterday was the first day of physical PE for me.
Right. How did that go?
I wasn't expecting what happened.
Okay. What happened?
So we did a lap around the cricket pitch. We did stretches, and then the most painful part, we did sit-ups, planks, and leg raises.
Yeah, but these are things you're accustomed to doing at home, aren't is it?
Yes.
So why were they so painful?
Because I don't like to do them.
Oh, I see. All right, well, I'm sure you're looking forward to other aspects of PE as the term rolls on. So the big news in the region, guys, as you know, is Corona. heard the head of the Pan American Health Organization speaking yesterday and today about the fact that there seem to be increased cases throughout the region, but in most.
So that was just a little bit of the Traffic Chronicles, which I'm certain we then call COVID Chronicles. So Cleveland, you're a single parent. It's all out there now.
Yes, I'm loving it actually. Yeah, so I became a single dad about 2.5 years ago. Not because the mom isn't around, but she asked me to take the children for some specific reasons. And I was very happy to do that. I love being a father. I love parenting. I think is one of the things I do best. I have an older daughter as well who has her own family now. And as it turns out, I am now parenting two boys. One is 18 and the other one is 11 going 22. I'm sure the young boys here would know what I mean. And it's a joy and it's a challenge. As I said, I can never be a mother to these boys. I could only be a father to them. So therefore, their mom still plays a role in their lives from time to time, but they live with me. And I mean, I take care of them on a daily basis. And what I try to do is to help them to live a well-rounded life, to ensure that their academics is on point, but also their physical and their cultural and their social and, you know, their intellectual. As you hear my younger son, Mikhail, talking about his physical education at school, but when they're at home, I make sure that they take part in physical activities as well, whether they run or play football or whatever. We do those type of activities together. I also try to make sure that they learn to cook. Because, you know, again, traditionally in the Caribbean family, the females were the one who went into the kitchen and the boys went outside. Growing up in St. Vincent, however, I was fortunate enough to have a grandmother who saw, the goodness in ensuring that we learn to cook. So actually, from 9 years old, I started learning to do things in the kitchen with my grandmother and my older cousins and so on. So similarly with my boys, I try to teach them to cook various things. And now they're a lot better than 2.5 years ago.
Right, Marcus, is back to you. I know you wanted to follow up on something.
Yes, I was going where you were going without even knowing that he was a single dad. I wanted him to share perspective on what the two gentlemen said, because he spoke earlier about a mother not being able to father a child. And we know that in the Caribbean, we have many young people, persons who would have grown up with an absent father. But the narrative that is not shared is that there are many people who have grown up without a mother. And I wanted you to kind of speak to that around the whole issue of how is it that on Mother's Day, we don't normally see the whole greeting to fathers who have been that single parent. And what do you think accounts for the way in which fathers are viewed?
Well, as I said, I think it goes back a lot to tradition. And one of the young men said that, traditionally in the Caribbean, our households are headed by women. I'm sure the census would bear that out, in more cases than not. And so women traditionally have been held in that esteem as the head of the household, the breadwinners in the family, because for some reason, a lot of our fathers were absent, as you said. So therefore, there's a particular type of honor and tribute that is paid to women, and they deserve this. I'm not saying that they don't deserve it. They deserve this. What I think is the issue is the contradiction that when it comes to Father's Day, that the fathers do not necessarily get the same type of tribute and honor that the women get. And again, if we go back to tradition, where in a lot of cases, the father was either away working. So for example, as I said, I grew up with a grandmother. Again, not that my father wasn't around, but I grew up with my maternal grandmother who lived in the country where my mom is from, and my dad is what we call a town man, so he lives in town. Interestingly, I also had the experience of living with my dad for 13 years. When I started high school in town, I went to live with my dad as well. But I think it's just a traditional thing where, because the society is predominantly, our households are predominantly women, that we pay a particular tribute and homage to women. And as I said, don't get me wrong, they deserve that. But I think that the dads also need to get their day in the sun when it comes to Father's Day.
I think what I was trying to get at is what perhaps would have informed that traditional thought, because I know that is a pervasive narrative in the Caribbean, even here in Jamaica. But the data itself doesn't seem to support that narrative. In fact, we have in Jamaica more male-headed households, right? I work in a community, for example, right now, where 64% of the households in that project site are male-headed. And of that 64%, 26 are single male. But the narrative is pervasive that men are absent. So I don't know what the data is for Grenada, but I'm sure if we were to do the census, the data will show something different. I'm trying to figure out what is it that would have informed the tradition of just not hearing the men being supported like that. But I want to go to Mr. Martin Scott. Odette would have spoken earlier about spiritual fatherhood or mentoring, and the role that he might have played in helping to heal some of those father wounds that exist. So, Mr. Scott, speak to me, first of all, on your role as a spiritual father, and then we could talk about the paternal side of it, because we've heard a bit from Mr. Sam about the paternal side. So I want to hear about your role as a spiritual father and what has that involved and some of the impact you have had in that regard.
Thank you for the opportunity. But for many years before I became a father, in fact, I've been married for over 30 years. And but before becoming a father, a natural father, I've always been a spiritual father to the young people. In fact, I've been a youth leader, a youth pastor for over 40 years. So I've always make myself available to mentor and to give spiritual advice and counseling to not only young men, but also young women. It was, I think, our past Congresswoman, Senator Clinton. She wrote a book a couple of years ago, and the book was entitled "It Takes a Village." And as much as fathers, we have a role to play, I believe that we need to pinpoint certain people in the community, in the family, who is able to play a leading role in the life of our young men and our young women. Because sometimes as fathers, we can't do everything. We don't know everything. We need help. We need the mother's help. We need the uncle help. We need the aunt help. I mean, even in the Jewish community, I work with Jewish people for all my life here in Brooklyn. And if there is no father, the uncle or the aunt or somebody from another family steps in, brings that child to the synagogue every Saturday morning. See? And so it's important to have that spiritual mentor, because we are not just physical, we are spiritual. You know, just Sunday, my sermon was on Abraham, tremendous man who who mentor his children. In fact, the Bible says he was a father of many, he's a father of many nations. And so I believe that we need to step up as men and to really have a diverse learning and direction for our children by using those that we can trust and those that are available to instill truth and righteousness in the lives of our children.
Thank you for that. Willon,
Yes.
speak to us a bit about what sort of models of fatherhood have you experienced or do you look up to?
Well, it would be a little bit challenging for me to answer that question because since, I wasn't really grown up with a father figure in the home, so to speak. But from my own personal observation and so on, from seeing, others, my friends, their fathers, I've learned a bit or two, right? As Sam Cleveland said that a mother cannot replace a father, right? There are certain things that only a father could do. So the fathers, in terms of role models, they would pass on skills and other things to their son, right? Take, for example, you have a family. You have both daughters and you have a son. So the mother would be effective, much more effective in passing on, things to their daughters, and the father would be most effective or more effective in passing on things to his son. Now, in that case, in terms of the role model, what a man should be, young men in society, we look up to basically the older men. Primarily in our families, it would be our fathers, right? That would be the male figure we look up to, how to be a man, how to handle yourselves, right? So in that aspect, fathers should be role models for their sons and for younger men.
Okay, thanks. How about you, Kyle? What kind of values do you think a father should model to their children, particularly to their son?
As a son, I would say some of the values that I take from my father is the way he conducts himself in society, the way he would go about things. He is a type of man that would go above and beyond for his child. And I think because of that feature, I hope to become a father like that in the future. So imagine being in a family, right? And if the father wasn't probably showing that type of positive features or values, it wouldn't be passed on to the children. So because I see that my father has gone beyond and above to keep me safe, support me financially, support me emotionally, socially, spiritually. I would say these are the values and the features that I would want to model from my father, and from other men in the society.
So if I could jump in here, I want to go back to Willon. Willon made a very important point, and he said that he did not grow up with his father, but he noted that the role that men play is very unique. So Willon, I want to ask you, having not grown up with your father, we have been very impressed with you here at the GBN, your involvement in Radioactive, and you went on and you found yourself a job. We sometimes have this notion that if the man is not in the house, then the boys become wayward and they will discipline. How are you able to keep yourself on that straight and narrow path without your father being present to straighten you out?
Well, first of all, I would say God, just possibly because of God. And I think also it's also an individual mindset, because due to the fact that my father wasn't present, I was able to use examples. I had friends, who had, really good fathers who were really good role models. And just by looking at the things, I was very focused while growing up, looking at the things. And I have to tell myself that, you know what, even if my father wasn't a part of, my life, my growing up, I do not want to continue that generational trend. So I took it upon myself with that self-motivation to become someone who would be a really good father.
All right.
Awesome.
Which is, but at any point, did you feel any level of anger, Willon?
Yes, yeah. Anger might be a little too extreme, but I was kind of, I do not want to use the word anger, but I felt the absence of my father while growing up. I indeed and in fact felt the absence, and at times I was, I felt that I was a little discouraged, especially around Father's Day. Everyone else has their father, and you're just there, right? You're just here, and I felt, how could he? Felt a little bit betrayed. Yeah, kind of upset towards him in a way. But as I grew older, I learned to maintain my composure and be forgiven, and not make the same mistake he did.
All right, so we need to take a commercial break. I'll let Marcus toss to that, but just to say, when we come back, I thanks, Willon, for enjoying that little dicey moment there with us. I want to give a dicey moment to Pastor Martin Scott when we come back. But let me just ask everybody to keep your cameras on. When you switch them on and switch them off during the program, it's throwing the other people off screen, and people at home wondering, well, where Willon disappeared? It's not Willon's fault. Marcus, I think you want to toss the commercial break? Okay, so Marcus, you got mute on us. We'll take a commercial break and we'll be coming back as soon as Marcus puts on his microphone. Stay with us.
It's on. Jimmy and Beyond the Headlines. We'll be right back on the other side of this break.
We've been down, but not out. It's been hard, but we've persevered together. We each have a role in Grenada's successful recovery, nourishing our families, guiding our children, caring for our communities, energizing our lives. We are strong. Together, we are Grenada.
Get Rubigas. Get cooking. Rubigas, clean, safe, and reliable LPG is the perfect solution for your commercial and everyday needs. For cooking at home or barbecuing, choose Rubigas LPG cylinders. Available in a variety of sizes from 20 to 100 pound cylinders. Rubigas LPG, clean, safe, reliable. Are you cooking with Rubigas?
Get Rubis, get going. Get vaxxed, hey, hey, vaccinated. Get vaxxed, hey, hey, get vaccinated. Vaccinated. So wear your mask, wash your hands, and practice social distance. This is we chance to advance. Come let we fight this COVID at once. So come on, let we fall in line. We want to come back to with social life. Vaccination island wide. So come on, let we fight it to protect we and we family.
This is a message from the Grenada Red Cross and the Ministry of Health.
I'm reaching my dreams with GOT. They're the ones for me. I'm reaching my dreams with GOT. They're the ones for me. Since 1983, they've been serving the country, and we like all their financing, giving the people what they want, what they need, what they love. Come and join the family that's here for you all the way, from birth to graduation. foundation, your first job to your home, and your car through your golden years.
The GT Credit Union has been actively supporting nation building through its many sponsorships and programs including Financial Literacy Quiz, Pass the Torch Calypso Program, Junior Cooperatives in Secondary Schools, CPEA, and the TAMCC Grants. The credit union has helped many people make their dreams come true. Let them help you with yours. You don't have to be a teacher to be a member. So what are you waiting for?
GUT Credit Union, it's where you belong.
Are you looking for quality herbs and herbal supplements, or are you thinking about having a complete body cleanse to jumpstart your health? Then no need to look further. Visit Nirvana Natural Health Clinic, Detox Center, and Natural Health Store. We carry a wide range of herbal products for kidney and gallstone cleansing, male sexual enhancement formulas, asthma and sinusitis, gas and bloating, acid reflux, constipation, arthritis, imbalanced hormones, female health issues, liver cleansing, weight loss, and so much more. Also available, colonic irrigation, holistic health consultations, essential oils, and diffusers. Look out for our online natural health store coming soon. Call 231-6642 for 18-7115 or 449-7753 to find out about our delivery options or to book an appointment. Visit us at Belmont St. George's, close to the Fallage, Monday to Saturday, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Nirvana Natural Health Clinic. Detox your way to health.
How going on, boy?
Hey, good old things.
Hey, easy.
Yeah.
Boy, in line, boy. Your house looking a real good day.
Boy, it's thanks to the hard-working and professional staff at the Housing Authority of Grenada. They handled me real nice. They did my plan, they did the construction, and I didn't even have to worry about a thing. They were there with me every step of it, supervising the job, asking me about my concerns, giving me feedback as the house took shape. They were there from start to finish, and even put the keys in the palm of my hand. I give them an A++ for customer service.
Oh, it's people from housing bad, boy.
Boy, not bad. Excellent. If you're thinking about constructing your home, why not consult the Housing Authority of Grenada? You could visit them right down in the Sandino complex or give them a call, 440-1015 or 440-1016. Or check out their website, hag473.com. They go handle you. They go jog your blocks, they go draw your plan, they go tote your materials. Hey man, where you going? The Housing Authority of Grenada is your choice for affordable housing and a stress-free construction experience.
Welcome back to Beyond the Headlines. This evening we're having a fatherhood forum. You'd recall on Mother's Day we did a Mother's Day special, and today we wouldn't let the opportunity pass without celebrating our fathers. And before we go back to the panel, as always, a very fluid position here on the GBN, and we're so happy with our viewers and listeners will interact with us. And I just got a WhatsApp here from someone who's saying he compiled something in honor of Father's Day yesterday, and he shared it on WhatsApp, and I promised him when he sent the message a few moments ago that I will share it. So, to all dedicated fathers, daddy, father, grandpa, uncle, brother, are names given to the masculine dominant species of the human race. God created the first man, Adam, with the necessary ingredients and tools to be able to ensure the continuity of humanity. Daddy, the patriarch of the family, the one who has the divine blessings to lead the family, I say, a happy, healthy, and blessed Father's Day to all. Father, as is commonly referred to us, is supposed to be knowledgeable, loving, reliable, inspirational, caring, and projective. Our father is loyal, he's proud, appreciative, but a practical person. His hilarious nature is fun to his children. Fathers are stern and strong-willed, while instilling a sense of confidence, self-esteem, trust, and honesty. A father's love is special, selfless, sacrificing, and devoting. He is friend and he is mentor. To end with a few quotes, the heart of a father is the masterpiece of nature. The nature of impending fatherhood is that you're doing something that you're unqualified to do, and then you become qualified doing it. A dad is the first hero for a son and a daughter's first love. Happy Father's Day to all. And the person has asked me to share this anonymously, not say who sent it, and I'd honor that wish. Willon shared a very... So Cleveland Sam is making sure that he gives his kudos there. Martin Scott, and we're not putting the handle because you didn't come in that capacity. You're just as dad tonight. You have two beautiful daughters. I remember Vashti, and what's the other daughter's name? Monique and Vashti. So Monique was your firstborn. I'll never forget her grandmother being so proud about this Monique. It just stuck. Monique's name would not come out of her air because she's always talking about this Monique because she was the firstborn. And then there's Vashti. And then you have a son. What's your son's name again?
Lucas.
So we have two boys already. Tell me how it feels to be the dad, the first love of Vashti and Monique. When they come hug you, what does that feel for a father giving all that love?
Odette, it's a good feeling. It's an awesome feeling. Just the fact that, I'm able to bring life into this world. And not just bring life into this world, but to watch, your children grow and, involve themselves in positive things. I mean, yesterday was such a great day for me. I just sit back after coming from church preaching. Lucas decided he wasn't going to go anywhere. He stayed home and he did a great dinner. He barbecued, the ribs and the chicken and all the good stuff. And all I had to do is to sit back and relax. They got me over 10 gifts. I had the opportunity to open all of them. My grandson got me a gift, even though he's a year and something. But he's following the tradition. But it's an awesome feeling, Odette, to be a father, to be a grandfather, and to receive the love from your children. I'm really blessed, and I really thank God for them.
All right, thanks for that, Marcus. I'm tossing back to you shortly, but I just got a very interesting submission here on WhatsApp. Let's hear this. The person says, fatherhood is not limited to gender. After my husband's death, I played the dual role and demand my props on Father's Day. Does that answer your question, Marcus, that you were trying to probe, big journalist trying to probe why mothers get shout-outs on Father's Day?
It certainly does not, but I respect that lady feels like she deserves the props of a father.
Moving right along,
I think
let's go.
any prop should...
Who would you like to move on to, Marcus? Go right ahead.
I perhaps would like to go to Cleveland because he spoke about the joys of fatherhood. I want to hear a bit about the challenges of fatherhood, because we tend to think, okay, this thing comes easy, and I'm sure Willon and Kyle, who are looking forward to becoming fathers themselves, need to hear the challenges that come along with that.
Yeah, so it is not a piece of cake. It is not a walk in the park by all means. As I said, I also have an older daughter who also lived with me for 3 years when she was a teenager. And you know how that can be. So my older son is now a teenager as well.
We don't, Cleveland. We don't know how that could be.
Well, I'm going to talk about it then, Odette. Because, as teenagers, and we all did it, we tend to want to challenge authority and, get our own way. So, for example, my daughter and I often had run-ins with respect to the way she wanted to dress because, she was young and beautiful and thought that she needed to dress a particular way. But I am a daddy and I'm driving the car and I'm saying, okay, well, who's driving this car today? Is it you or me? So do you go and change that or do we not go? So there are challenges with my younger son, who is 11 and just in first form, doing online schooling. That in itself is a huge challenge for me as a parent. I find you have to be behind them 24/7 in order for them to remain focused. And one of the things that people talk about and ask me sometimes, how do you discipline your children? That is also a challenge, because in today's society, society wants to tell you that you can't hit your child. It's physical abuse. But I grew up with a grandmother, as I said, and I didn't feel as if I was physically abused, and I got a lot of lashes. So I do hit my younger son when he deserves it, because it's a form, not necessarily punishment, but rebuke, and to show them that there are consequences to your actions. Of course, one of the real things about being a single dad as well is just sometimes you just would love to have some alone time. And sometimes it's just not possible because, as I said, my younger son goes to high school, and when he has school, you have to wake up and make sure he gets to school on time. Luckily now he is able to prepare his own breakfast. But you have to do all of these things, and on a weekend you still have to get up and you want to go to church on time and make lunch and so on. And sometimes you just wish that you did not have to do all of that for a weekend or for 2 days or something, where you can just have some alone time and stay in your bed until 9 o'clock or 12 o'clock on a Saturday or Sunday. But it's just not possible when you are a single dad.
Marcus,
and you're a single dad, but Martin, you have a different experience. You have a wife who is there, but as a father, there still will be challenges. What are those unique challenges that parenting has brought into your life?
Indeed, there are a lot of challenges. I remember, especially with the boy. It never happened with the two girls, but the boy, I visit the school very often. In fact, there was once I was so mad because he wasn't behaving. I went to the school. They let me in the class. I pull his pants down and I give him some good spanking in front of the class and the teacher.
Wow!
No, I'm not recommending that to anybody. You have to have the grace of God and the wisdom of God and the direction of God to do that, especially here in New York. I could have gone to jail. But the teacher, his teacher, he allowed me to come in, and Lucas got some good spanking. Up to the day, sometimes he reminds me of that. But guess what? Because of that, he never went to jail. I didn't have to run on the streets with him. He understood that, hey, Daddy wasn't joking and Daddy wanted the best out of him. So those of you who are watching me, don't try that with your children, because you might just spend some nights in prison, all right? But God's been faithful to me and good. So, I wasn't able to go that path. All
right, Marcus,
Yes.
No, that's a true story. That's a true story.
But Martin, you've been in New York for the last 40 years. You know the law and you did that. You risk going to jail.
Yes, because I did that so that he wouldn't go to jail.
So you risk going to jail so that your son won't go to jail. That's a story
Yes.
you'll write from this program tonight, right?
I am with you, Martin. I am with you 100%.
Let me
Yeah, I tell you, I pulled his pants down, and he was maybe around 9 years or 10 years, somewhere around there. And he never did it again. I never went to that school again, because he realized that, look, Daddy's not playing, and I feed you, I clothe you, you get the best of everything. You got to learn respect, and if you don't hear, you're gonna feel.
Let me just say, Mr. Co-host this evening, I would need to probably take a commercial break to get over that. But anyway, somebody here on the social media platform is saying, I want to say hi to Uncle Martin, a great role model to me. From childhood, he brought my first chunky heels. I love you, Uncle Martin. You think you know what
I love you, Ruth. I love you, Ruth.
Oh Lord Jesus, this is getting gooder and gooder by the moment. Now, Kyle, let's bring some sanity to the situation. Did you ever get licks? And when you were punished or disciplined, how did you feel about that?
All right. Well, I would say during my teenage years, I attended the Grenada Boys Secondary School, right? And during my teenage years, I was a bit rebellious. That is what I would say. But my dad, because of he disciplined me in more than one way, not just the physical way with the lashes, but there was like there was different methods that I used, like not allowing me to go to the school fair or something. At first, I wasn't happy about it, but as I grew older, I kind of like appreciated it. And to the young viewers who are watching this, like the boys who are probably in school, who are probably going through their teenage years, sometimes your parent might do something that you don't like. In the present time, you wouldn't like it, but as time go along and as you grow older, I tend to like appreciate it and tend to understand. Like probably like the pastor's son. At the time, he probably didn't like it because it would have been embarrassment. But as time go along, he understood why his father did that and how it benefits to make him a better person.
And let me just ask, Marcus, I know I'll come back to you, but let me just ask Willon.
Go ahead.
While we're on this, Willon, you're a teacher now. Do you recall getting licks from daddy at some point when you were a child? I know that you're in the classroom and you're seeing these boys and they seem troublesome. What's the juxtaposition here?
Well, I used to get licks as a young boy from my older brother, right? He basically assumed the role of a father, right? I have a bigger brother who used to be, over my siblings and I. And looking at the young boys as a teacher, looking at the young boys in my class, some of them, their fathers are present in their lives, some of them, their fathers are absent. And you can see the difference in terms of their behavior, right? The way that they operate, right? You can see the difference from those who have who fathers are active in their life, and from on the other side of things, right? So yes.
All right. So I just want to do one thing before Marcus crosses us to break. Social media is very active. I have this submission here. I wish I got the chance to experience this from my father. Although my stepfather played an amazing role in my life, something was still missing. Thank God for my amazing brother Damian Williams, who stepped up and took the best care of me. He was very nurturing and had a village to help. I will always be grateful for him taking on the responsibility as my protector, which is something that we want to talk about as men as protectors. Marcus, with all your grinning face, I'm tossing to you to take us to a commercial break.
I think you set that one up, Odette.
No.
On the other side of this break, I'll respond to you. GBN Beyond the Headlines will be right back.
I'm a winner, you are winner, we are winners.
It's the big one. Grenada. Imagine winning $25,000 and up to 6 times by scratching just one little ticket. Get your triple cash scratch tickets for a chance to live your best life. Win easy with Scratch. For just $3, match any of your numbers to any of the winning numbers and win the prize shown for that number. Reveal a money back symbol and win the prize instantly. Triple cash scratch. In stores now. Must be 18 or older to play.
Cause I'm a winner. From the moment that I get up, I'm feeling right.
Good evening, viewers and listeners. Welcome back. It's time for the National Lottery Authority's Lotto draw number 3227 for this evening, Monday, the 21st of June, 2021. The estimated jackpot, $76,000. Well, joining me once again is Ms. Josephine Clark. She's representing PKF Accountants and Business Advisors. Let's find out firstly what the free ticket letter will be. If you've got your tickets, good luck. And this evening's free ticket letter is... This evening's free ticket letter is the letter G as in gold. That's G as in gold. And it's time to find out what the 5 winning numbers will be for $76,000. Good luck. First number is... First number is 32. Second number 2. Third number, 34. The fourth number is 5, and the fifth and final is 30. All right, so we got to recap for your benefit. Free ticket letter, that letter was G as in gold. That's G as in gold. And the 5 winning numbers, the jackpot, $76,000. First number up was 32. That's 3232. Second number, 2022. Third number, 34. That's 3434. The fourth number was 5055. And the fifth and final, 30. That's 3030. If you have these numbers, congratulations to you. This has been Lotto Play and Win a Lot. We'll see you on the flip side. Of course, tomorrow, God's will, get your tickets and continue to support sports, culture, and nation building. Have a good night.
By now, you should know that the early bird catches the worm. So, what are you waiting for? Put wings to your feet and head to your nearest scratch seller. For every quick 7s scratch ticket you buy at $2, the NLA gives you 7 chances at winning as much as $7,000. Scratch the entire play area for your 7 chances at revealing as much 7s and win the corresponding prizes. Win easy with Scratch. Must be 18 or older to play.
We've been down, but not out. It's been hard, but we've persevered together. We each have a role in Grenada's successful recovery, nourishing our families, guiding our children, caring for our communities, energizing our lives. We are strong. Together, we are Grenada.
Are you looking for quality herbs and herbal supplements, or are you thinking about having a complete body cleanse to jumpstart your health? Then no need to look further. Visit Nirvana Natural Health Clinic, Detox Center, and Natural Health Store. We carry a wide range of herbal products for kidney and gallstone cleansing, male sexual enhancement formulas, asthma and sinusitis, gas and bloating, acid reflux, constipation, arthritis, imbalanced hormones, female health issues, liver cleansing, weight loss, and so much more. Also available, colonic irrigation, holistic health consultations, essential oils, and diffusers. Look out for our online natural health store coming soon. Call 231-6642 418-7115 or 449-7753 to find out about our delivery options or to book an appointment. Visit us at Belmont St. George's, close to the Fallage, Monday to Saturday, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Nirvana Natural Health Clinic. Detox your way to health.
Total is one of the world's largest oil companies with a top quality line of lubricants. Total Lubricants has a full product line from passenger cars, motorcycle, heavy industrial equipment, mining, trucking, agriculture, and manufacturing machines and vehicles. Total Lubricants, winning championships in motorsports, including Formula One and World Rally Championships. Total Lubricants are available at all Rubis service stations, leading automotive shops, and distributed by Huggins.
Welcome back. And just in case you joined us late on Beyond the Headlines this evening, we're having a fatherhood forum, and we have two dads, two sons. No, they're not related. We just chose two young men. Our fathers this evening in the house, Martin Scott. He wears two hats. He is Pastor Martin Scott. He pastors the Hebron Church in Brooklyn, New York. Mr. Cleveland Sam, he's a dad based in Barbados. He works with the University of West Indies. We have Mr. Kyle C. Sylvester. He's one of our young men of whom we're very proud. And Mr. Willon Antoine. Willon is one of the offshoots of the GBN radioactive program, and we've seen him grow. Our co-facilitator this evening is Marcus Williams. He's a son of the soil. He's based in Kingston, Jamaica, has a lot going for him, and the future looks very bright. Marcus Williams, it's over to you.
Thank you. Thank you for that. To my baby sister, daughter, Teresa Williams, for that just before the break. I almost melted into a ball of tears. She is my person, my heart, and I'm so grateful for that. Kyle and Willon, we heard before the break a bit about beating, and each of you spoke about your experience getting some licks. I want to hear from you. How did that work? Or did it work? Looking back, it might have, but did it work immediately? Was it effective?
I would say it was effective at times. There, there's a saying, there's an action for every situation. A parent should, it's a kind of, I wouldn't tell somebody how to go about parenting, but I would say every parent should evaluate the situation, and depends on the situation, they decide the type of punishment. Like my dad, if I didn't perform well at school, he would not allow me to go to school fairs, and that is only fair enough. But if I was to do something extreme, then the physical punishment would have come into play, So physical, some people goes against physical punishment, some people goes for it. From a son's perspective, as we're looking here tonight, my view is physical punishment depends on the situation. Simply
so the crime should suit the punishment, or the punishment.
Yeah, exactly that.
Was there ever a time you felt unjustly beaten? That the punishment didn't suit the crime?
No. My dad is a man that is very reasonable. And that's what I would say. He's a very reasonable man.
How about you, Willon? In the times that your big brother, father figure would have put the belt on your derriere, did you feel at times that was unjust?
At times, yes. However, sometimes, it's as Kyle aforementioned, the punishment must suit the action, and it must be appropriate to the action. And I believe at the end of any punishment that a particular child or that person should learn something from it. But it shouldn't be something you do in anger, in frustration, and so on. Right? You would punish the individual, but the individual should learn. Here's what I did such and such, and this is a consequence. Going back to the Bible, Father Martin Scott.
Yes.
The rod of correction, it's important, right? And it can make us wiser, right? In that, when we do something wrong and, we are given the belt, would we do it again? Maybe not, but what are the chances, right? And whoever the Lord loves, he corrects. So we have to look at it from that perspective. We have to look at it from that perspective that when we are corrected, the corrector doesn't necessarily want to hurt you or wants what's bad for you. But what they really want is to see you grow and not to repeat that same mistake again.
Okay.
Very true.
Wow.
So
That's
now we
awesome.
know that your children would be getting some licks. You would not spread around at all. But we seem to yes, go ahead, Clever.
I don't know if I could just intervene.
Yeah.
So I like Willon's perspective, and I would add that for me is not so much punishment as discipline, really. I see it really as a discipline rather than punishment. And as I said, I would use various methods, including the belt. But I think very often we need to see this as a means of discipline and rebuke. And the idea is to try and change behavior. It's not to punish, it's really to change behavior. And sometimes I wonder if I get to my son, especially the younger one, with some of these disciplinary actions, because the behavior seems to be repeated. But I mean, as parents, you have to try and you have to reinforce different things. I would show you something, if you don't mind. So you see this? That is one of the biggest weapons I have in my arsenal as a parent, right? when things happen, I just take that for a few days. I would stop
there is
right
compliance.
There. Exactly.
We spoke about the challenges, and we seem to have settled around many of them centering around discipline, the idea of discipline, from what I've heard. Are there other challenges as it relates to economics and mental that a father goes through that you'd perhaps like to educate these young men about before they enter fatherhood unadvisedly?
I would let the priest go first.
Yes, definitely. I believe that you cannot give what you don't have. So if you don't have discipline, if you don't understand that as a father, you are called to be a protector, a provider, a source. If you don't understand that, you're going to have problems as a father. Mentoring and teaching your children. I believe it begins at home. Like we said, that charity begins at home and then it goes abroad. And I believe that, and this is for all the young men and even the young ladies who are watching tonight. Before you get into parenthood, it's important for you to understand who you are. You know, the whole dynamics. It's important for you to know and to learn about finances and discipline so that you can pass on what you've learned to your children. All right? So it's important. Take your time. Don't rush it. I know it's a challenge with sex and a whole lot of things that are going on. But before you bring a child into this world, it's important for you to learn the dynamics, to get to know for yourself what parenthood is all about. Because it's a challenge, you know, and that will help. It's like premarital counseling. You know, it's important before you get married to have some counseling so that you'll be able to be a good husband or a good wife. It's the same principle with fatherhood.
Marcus, for me, one of the challenges that I face is that there is not a lot of support out there for single dads. And I noticed one of my best friends in the British Virgin Islands was also a single dad. And I must say, I learned a lot from him, and I have taken a couple of leaves out of his books. And he was fathering both a daughter and two sons. And there's not a lot of support out there for single dads in the same way as you see people would support single moms. That's one. I think the Father Scott or Pastor Scott makes a very good point in terms of there is a struggle as well to the values that you want to instill in your children. So, and sometimes you feel as if you're constantly going against the grain. Because, like, I believe in delayed gratification, right? And I find among Black people that is a huge issue. I mean, again, if anybody wants to challenge me on that, I'm prepared to debate it. But in other words, so because we grew up in a particular way and we have arrived in the middle class or wherever we think we are, we think that we should just give our children everything that they ask for, or that the Joneses are giving their children. I don't believe in that. I believe children need to work and they need to earn, and they would have a much better appreciation for the value of assets, and not just, give them a car because you're working for X amount of money, or let them go to graduation in a limousine because they got 7 grade 1s or something like that. I believe they need to earn those things. However, because some of their friends and their friends' parents are being given these things as free handouts, sometimes you look like the bad guy or the bad lady. But I think that is something that we need to instill in our children, that there is value in working hard, there is value in delayed gratification, there is value in appreciation of the things that you have, and starting from somewhere and building as you go along. I'll give you one example. My daughter was in Girl Guides when she was in high school, and she got selected to attend this International Girl Guides camp in Southampton in the UK. And she called and she told me, and I said, wow, that's a great opportunity. And my next question was, so what are you going to do in order to attend this camp? Of course, the phone went silent for a few seconds, right? And I said, well, if you want to attend this camp, you need to show me that you are invested in attending this camp. I mean, the airfare alone from St. Vincent to the UK is thousands of dollars. Plus you have to pay camp fees, and you're there for 2 weeks and so on. You have to eat and go on trips. I said, what are you going to do to show me that you want to attend this camp? The long and short of the story, I said to her, I'm not going to just give you money to go to this camp. You have to show me that you want to go to this camp by raising some of this money yourself. Yeah. And the same thing I do for my sons. I don't just give them things like handouts, because I don't think people, not just children, I don't think people value things like that.
Thank you. Over to you, Odette.
Segue into, let's take another 1 minute of the Traffic Chronicles, and then we have a special by Daniel John. He's a Grenadian residing in the US. He did it a special for Father's Day, and it was shared on Green's Music to the World on Saturday last. So let's just take a minute of another Traffic Chronicles as Cleveland talks about how he deals with his children.
Hello and welcome to another fabulous Friday. I'm Mikkel.
I'm Cleveland.
I'm Mateo. I'm Sen.
I'm Dad.
And I'm Big Brother. Today, I will be speaking about dengue. So, in the Caribbean and in Barbados, we have had an increase in dengue cases recently, and with Corona, we really don't want to be getting sick with anything. So,
Corona is enough.
Yeah. So, if you have any places, that are possible breeding sites for mosquitoes, just clean up around the house, make sure everything is safe.
Yes, please.
And I want to go on a soapbox ride today about elections.
So Cleveland, one of the things staying in Grenada and following you and your two chaps there, a father's role in developing self-confidence in their children, yeah?
Oh, certainly. And I try to emphasize that all the time. I give them the opportunity to speak, you can freely express yourself within the context of discipline and respect, of course, for authority and so on, but they are free to express themselves. I believe in that, and that's one of the things I benefited from my dad. He was very liberal in that respect. I mean, we had lots of conversations as a teenager when I went to live with him, and he allowed me that freedom to express myself, very freely.
Great. So as promised, we have a Father's Day special done by Grenadian Daniel John. He's residing in the U.S. Let's take an excerpt of that and we'll be right back.
Hello there, how you doing? As I grow, I start to realize what you've been through. I wanna thank you for all that you've done, and I'm really proud to say that I'm your son. Hello there, hello there. Yeah. Now when things started, it was very different. You tried to teach me things, but I didn't listen. And this is coming from my heart. So many memories, I don't know where to start. Through all the fussing and fighting, you show me that you love me every day. Just know I appreciate it, and I just wanna say hello there. I'm really proud to say that I'm a son. Hello there. I'm really proud to say that I'm your son. Hello there. Hello there. Hello there. Hello there. You show me that you love me every day. Just know I appreciate it, and I just wanna say hello there. I'm really proud to say that I'm your son. Hello there. I'm really proud to say that I'm your son. I'm really proud to say that I'm your son. Hello there. I'm really proud to say that I'm your son. Hello, son. Yeah, Dad. I'm really proud to say that you're my son. Thanks, Dad. I love you. I love you too, son.
Awesome.
Marcus,
very
take
nice.
over.
Very nice.
Marcus, take over.
Wow. What a beautiful tribute to that by that gentleman from Grenada. Yeah, good talent. But I wanted to touch on an issue as we talk about fathers and we talk about how fathers can show up, and we talk about what is tradition for us to celebrate mothers. there is the reality of relationships ending. And for some reason or another, the father is no longer present in the home. How can we encourage fathers? And my own research would have revealed that there are some men who are absent not because of choice, but because sometimes when those relationships end, children are weaponized against those fathers. How can we encourage fathers who find themselves in situations where relationships have ended and have gone sour to be present for their children? Either to Cleveland or Pastor Scott, either one of you can go first. And then I want to hear from the young men.
But you see, Marcus, let's just say I'm going to have to come in defense of the panelists, because you see that is a kind of warmth that's a discussion all by itself. And I checked the clock and I realized we only have 3 minutes to wrap up time. Can we imagine that?
Okay, so final advice to fathers out there.
So they only have like 30 seconds.
Yes, 30 seconds.
30 seconds because, I had to defend them on that one. So let's start with Kyle. We're doing wrap-up comments. 30 seconds from you first. Then we go to Willon, and then we go to the two padres in the house, in la casa. Los padres en la casa.
All right. For my final comments, I would say to the fathers outside, to the fathers, the single mothers, even the foster care parents, the stepfathers, all of those people that play a role in a child life. I would say just try to be there for a child emotionally. Emotions is a very big thing for a child growing up. Financially, be there for the child, and also I like the idea that Cleve and Sam give, where not just give out money to the child, but kind of teach them in the way they earn. There's a saying from that I learned from GBS: non palma sine labore, means no reward without labor. So those are the type of things that fathers should teach and to the children. Mm-hmm. Yes,
Oh, yes. Right. I just want to say that, commend the fathers who have been doing a really good job, whether it be the biological fathers, the fathers who assume a fatherly role, the mothers who, the mothers who take up that role as well, and even the single dad. All right, I really want to commend them. And anyone can be a father, but it takes someone really special to be a dad. That was once said by Wade Boggs, right? Now we must continue to place special recognition on fathers, right, who do their utmost best to take care of their children. We have a lot of committed fathers in our community today, and special recognition must be placed on them, right? And for those who are lacking, I would admonish you to step up and be the role model and leaders you are called to be.
Thank you for that, Willon. How about you, Pastor? And then we have Cleveland.
Yes. One of the things that I want to, and I'm coming, from a biblical point of view, as fathers, as men, we have to use God as our example, because we got to start someplace. The same way that God is protector, we got to be protectors. The same way God is provider, we have to provide for our family. The same way God is source, we are source. That means that our children should feel comfortable. Our children should know that we as fathers are there to support them, to discipline them in love, and to let them know that life is worth living. But we have to be an example. And thank God we have God as an example, because God's been good to us. He has been providing for us. He's been protecting us. And so we have the greatest example of all time. So fathers, keep up doing the good work, and allow the good things in your life be a part of the life of those that God has entrusted in you, which is the children. And thanks again for being part of the panel tonight.
Cleveland Slam.
Thank you. Right. So again, just to start from where the pastor left off, we as fathers, we need to be an example. That's definitely one thing we need to do. We need to be an example, a role model to our children. And the most important thing for me is that fatherhood is a great responsibility. It is a huge responsibility that we all need to take seriously. We need to step up to the plate at all times and just recognize that it is a great responsibility. And where we see fathers need help, society, please step in and help our fathers where they need help as well. Thank you very much for the opportunity tonight, GBN.
And I'd like to thank all of you. My co-facilitator, Marcus Williams, always a good sport. Thank you so much to the panelists and to my co-facilitator this evening, to all of the persons who work behind the scenes to make this the great success that it has been. I'd like to give a special thank you to Trelawnna Charles, who assisted with our video inserts this evening, Krista Campbell, who tapped into her good resources and found us Willon, it's good to have you again. Kyle, it's really wonderful to have heard from you, and you spoke so eloquently and bravely. Not many young men are willing to do this. Thank you so much, young men. We appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Pastor Martin Scott, we're putting the handle where the handle is due. We just wanted you to be dad, but to also let people know that you pastor people, you shepherd the flock at Hebron. And to Mr. Cleveland Sam, Traffic Chronicles, COVID Chronicles, being a good dad, and also leading the way, the charge with educational development in the Caribbean through the University at West Indies. And also he's been with the Caribbean Examinations Council. We want to thank you sincerely. Mike Alexis on the technical side, Darius Slocum. Also on the technical side, we say a very special belated Happy Father's Day. It's a mood. It's not a day, it's a mood. Happy Father's Day to all of the fathers, to all of you who followed us from near and afar. Those of you listening, Mr. Chan, he says he's given up television and he listens on radio. And just to let you know, we're having a collab with Waves FM in Jamaica. They have started carrying Beyond the Headlines. We want to thank our Jamaican friends for tuning in with us. And I just want to let you know that I had a silent shadow in the studio this evening, Akim Williams. Akim, come and put your face by the... Come. Akim, come. He's been hiding all night. Come, Akim. Quick! This here is my little brother. Thank you, Akim, for coming in studio and just being a good source of support. And we say to our dad, Akim and my dad, who continues to sleep in peace, continue to rest in peace, Dad. And like that song said, hello, Dad. We thank you for the discipline. I didn't understand it then. I've come to understand and to treasure the discipline. Thank you, Dad. So long for now. See you again next week.